Hey guys, Jamie Bunn, Fish Bluewater. Thanks for joining us for another round of Fish Bluewater videos. We're sticking with the tips and techniques in our rigging videos here for the time being. Springtime fishing is here. Meat fish are here, so I'm gonna share another rigging video with you on how to create a wire stinger rig. So in all my years of fishing, particularly when you're fishing with larger baits, obviously you always have that lead hook typically rigged through the nose of the bait or sometimes up in the shoulder of the bait. But when we're fishing with really large baits like goggle eyes and big blue runners and speedos, the occasional tinker mackerel, things of that nature, I mean, you could be dealing with a bait that's anywhere from 6 to 10, 12 inches in length. And unless you have a fish that's coming up and completely engulfing that bait, a lot of times predators like wahoo, kingfish, they come up and they slash when they grab the bait. And if you don't have that trailer hook or stinger hook as a second hook in that bait, you're left wondering what was that mystery fish on the other end of the line that you never saw and you came back with a half-eaten bait. So to try and combat that a little bit, we have stinger rigs. And there's many ways to tie stinger rigs, many different ways that different guys will do it. In a previous video, we talked a little bit about a technique that I've been using since I was in high school. And it's a stinger rig that allows you to run the wire beneath the skin of the fish that you are rigging. I prefer that approach just because, once again, I think it's a cleaner presentation in terms of putting that bait in the water and trying to get as many bites as we possibly can. So this is what that rig looks like. We're gonna get into showing you how to make it here momentarily. But before we do that, I'll talk about the parts and pieces that make it up, which is pretty simple. There's only two components. For these types of rigs, we just use your traditional wire. This actually is number 7 wire. I'll usually use anywhere between number 6 and number 7. If I was fishing this type of wire as for my main lead hook, just fun fishing, I would probably scale it back to number 4 or number 5 wire. A little bit lighter, a little bit less visible, probably expect to get more bites out of it. But because this is a stinger rig and I'm basically rigging it beneath the skin of the bait, the wire is not going to be seen. So number 7 is harder to bite through than number 5 or 4. And it works well for the type of rig that we're going to tie in terms of what we call the stiff rig for the stinger rig here today. So number 7 wire, and then this is a number 4, or 4.0 Mustad Ultra Point. You old school guys who've been around for a long time, started out as a 9175 Mustad. They're now calling it a 9174 BN, which basically is for their black finish needle point hook. Super sharp. The thing that I love about all these new hooks is, for those of us that get a little bit lazier as we get older, they're already chemically sharpened, so you don't have to go the old school route of breaking out a sharpening stone to put that edge on your hook. And that's it. So those are the two elements that we need to build this rig, and I'm going to show you how to do it here next. All right, you ready to do this? Let's do it. So we've got our 4.0 hook. we've got our number 7 wire. There's two options here. You could either tie the rig with your standard haywire twist, finish off with some barrel twist, which gives you kind of a free hanging hook. I actually prefer, as I mentioned at the start of this video, a stiff rig, which basically the hook lays in line with the wire, and once it's up inside the bait, I like to know that that hook is not going to flop around. The way that I seat it in the bait is the way that it will stay if properly rigged, and so that's why I prefer the stiff rig approach. So to start out, we're going to run that number 7 wire up through the bottom of the eye of the hook. I give myself about 3-4 inches of tag end sticking out. Then I'm going to simply go around the shank of that hook. I'm going to make one barrel wrap, if you will, all the way around and down the other side of the hook, like so. Then the next step is I'm going to take that tag end, and I'm going to go back up through the eye of the hook the opposite way I came into the eye of the hook. So, like so. I'm going to take the little flat end of the pliers that I have here. I'm going to grab that wire. I'm going to pull it through, like so. I'm going to give it a nice pull to snug it down, basically up against the eye of that hook. So now I have basically my tag end coming out in one direction, the lead part of the wire in another, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to basically form a small loop together with my tag end, like so, and the wire, and then I'm going to make my haywire twist. I typically make about 3 or 4 of the haywire twists. You form about a 45-degree angle between the two sections of wire and begin your twisting. Got about 4 there now. So I'm going to bring my tag in straight up like so. Now I'm ready to finish it off with the barrel twist. All your strength, guys, is right here in these haywire twists. The barrel twist is really for looks and also gives us the ability to finish off the twist in a clean way. So now, as opposed to the 45-degree angle, I'm at 90 degrees and the tag end is doing all the work. I'm not doing anything with this part of the wire other than just twisting the tag end 90 degrees, 3 or 4 turns all the way around, like so. Okay, we're ready to roll. Now we've got to get rid of this guy. And trust me when I tell you, you do not want to use pliers or snips just to finish this close. It's going to leave a sharp edge. You're going to ask somebody to hand you a stinger rig on the boat. You're going to be rigging that stinger into the bait, and it's going to go into your thumb. And there's going to be some words that you are going to say that your guys on the boat are not going to enjoy hearing. So we just form a little angle like that on the end of the tag end, and we simply just twist it forward like so. It snaps right off, clean. We get a clean finish. You can see how I can move my hands right up and down that. No burr, no sharp edge. We're ready to go. So I have one end of this stiff rigged stinger hook ready to roll. Next up, we're going to show you how to finish it off with the loop knot on the other side. All right, so we've got the hook wrapped on and we're ready just to make the loop on the other end. One of the things you want to do when you're making the loop, you want to make sure that you're making it small enough. You need to be able to get it off and on the hook itself and over the barb of the hook, but you also don't want it to be so large that if you get any slack in the line or the fish makes a run or whatever the case may be, it's too easy for that stinger to fall right off of the hook. So what a lot of guys will do, or sometimes I'll do, is I'll take this like so, and I will take and form a loop around the hook, a hook itself. And then I want to make sure that I get my loop small enough based on the hook that I'm kind of wrapping it around. So I've taken the flat edge of those pliers, or these crimpers in this case, and I'm going to push down and make that loop about the size that I want it to be. And then I give it a twist to hold it in place. Now I've got my first haywire twist. I'm going to do that a couple more times. 2, 3. That looks good. I'm ready to bring it around just like we did on the other side for our barrel wraps. And we'll do 3 or 4 just like we did on the hook end. Like so. Like so. Now if you remember, you just gotta bend the end of that tag in. Give it a twist forward, like so. Breaks right off. There you have it. I have added a stinger to this side of the hook. Excuse me, this side of the rig. And we're ready to go. Now, one of the things I'll also tell you guys about this is not all baits are the same size, right? So typically when you're doing this, take the time at home. You know, I'll make 15, 20 of these at a time, and I will vary them from anything to something this size, which is probably about a 4-inch stinger, maybe even a little bit smaller for your smaller gogs and little runners and things like that, all the way up to 8-inch stingers for the bigger baits and things of that nature. And we'll show you at another time actually how to make this happen and run this rig up the back of the bait and be fishing with it the next time that you're out. Till the next video, Jamie Bunn from Fish Bluewater. We'll see you soon.